Our next guest, also New York's very own originally, is making a name for herself in the world of literature.
Bronx native Stephanie Rodriguez is a self-published comic book artist and illustrator who's pulling inspiration from her own life in her new coming-of-age graphic novel, Doodles from the Boogie Down.
You would know.
I am not Doodles,
You
but
are
I am
also
from the Boogie Down.
The book follows a young Dominican girl from the Bronx as she navigates the final chapter of middle school, Maron, and leaps into the journey discovering her true self. So, without further ado, Stephanie Rodriguez, welcome to the show. Welcome to New York Living.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you so much for having me.
This is a real treat because Alex knows whenever there's someone from the Bronx and then a Latina from the Bronx, that's like my bread and butter. That makes me feel
so
like
sweet.
all the hard work we do is worth it because there's always another generation of folks coming in. I have to ask, how did you get into art? Because art programs were cut from my school the last 2 years of junior high school.
It's always the first thing to
yeah,
go. It's
and
a
it
sad-
was, and I say that's the reason I can only draw stick figures. I just don't have any talent. But what drew you to this? How did you get into this?
I've been an artist my whole life. That's the only thing I've wanted to do. I just kind of had that in mind and went straight forward for it.
Blinders on. Okay.
Yeah, you mentioned like you had art school, like you had art classes sometimes, and that was the same thing for me. I went to Catholic school most of my life, and sometimes we had art class and sometimes we didn't. So, yeah, it's a little tough.
So the times you had them, you got to have fun.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, for sure.
Oh my gosh.
And I like you, was never an artist. I don't have talent in that department, but I always looked forward to going to whatever art form it was, whether it was chorus or if I was playing an instrument at the time, or if it was actual art class where I was painting or sculpting. For me, it was always like it was like an oasis that I could escape to. It's like this resonates with me. And it's so wonderful that you've been able to turn this into your life's work, and you're succeeding in it. Because just real quick mention here, you moved out to LA. What, a year and a half ago? You said?
Yes.
We were just talking about this in the break. Yeah. And she's already got a big project in the works.
Big project.
So that is huge.
Yeah, thank you guys. Yeah,
And we need to
I'm
amplify
trying.
that.
Yeah. Are you able to talk about it, or are you under
yes.
strict?
It's already been announced, so I can. The show's called Uptown Bodega. And
No, it's
you
not.
guys know.
Oh my God! You didn't say it was Uptown Bodega.
Well, I didn't have enough time.
Tell us right now. Spill the Café Bustelo right now.
Oh,
what
that's
are you
the
doing?
best coffee
Yeah.
too.
Did we just become best friends?
I hope so.
Yeah,
Okay.
no, we're besties now. Yeah, so I did the character designs for the show, and the director, Oz Rodriguez, found my previous comic work. I used to self-publish for many years, so he found my work, and we connected, and he just so happened to be pitching an animated series, and yeah, so here I am.
So
So you'll have to come back when that finishes. Oh my
Wow.
God.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, but before that, the first baby. Tell us about
Yes.
Uptown Boogie. Uptown Boogie.
We just combined everything.
Doodles from the.
It's a mouthful. It's not that easy to say. But yeah, I've been writing comics for a while now. And this was a story that I've told people over the years. I went to middle school, well, Catholic middle school. I was getting ready to go into high school, and I found out about LaGuardia High School.
Oh, yes.
The famed school.
Right,
Please.
and I really wanted to go, and my English teacher at the time, she went there and studied art, and so when she learned that I wanted to go there, she kind of like took me under her wings.
Oh.
Yeah, and like helped me set up my art portfolio and prepare for the auditions. And I mean, this happened like within a couple of months. Like
Wow.
it was very last minute, and so, we tried our best. I did not get in.
Oh no.
Well, shout out to
so,
your
yeah.
teacher anyway. What's her name?
Exactly.
I wish I could remember. It was a long time ago.
I know, like,
And
we're
like,
asking you to take
I
back.
honestly, I dug into my yearbook and I tried to find info, but like
Couldn't find her.
No.
But so you don't get into LaGuardia. Then what happened? What'd you do?
I ended up going to Fashion Industries High School, which also has a great art program. So yeah, I studied there.
Yeah.
And I'd say it's worked out for you.
Their loss.
I think it's
her,
fine.
Her win. Yeah.
All's well that ends well.
So coming of age story.
Yes.
Loosely based on your life.
I would say like 50%. Yeah, like the bones of
You drew
it.
the inspiration from
Yes.
the middle school experience.
Yeah, I mean, like it's about friendships and like growing pains. Being first generation Dominican American in the Bronx. So and the Bronx, it's like its own character too. So that's a lot of fun.
I love that.
No, you have an event.
Yes.
Tell us the details. It's tonight. How can we attend? Tell us all. Spill the tea.
It's at the Lip Bar.
Hello.
with our friends.
Shout out to Noel Santos. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, shout out to Noel.
What
That's
time?
amazing. 6:30 p.m. tonight. You can find tickets through they have an event page. You could also find it on my
Sure.
Instagram.
Yep. Perfect.
Amazing.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect. Well, I hope tons of people show up, as I'm sure
you.
they will. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you
It
guys.
is wonderful to see ourselves in
Yes.
books on the big screen.
BX.
And thanks for making it happen.
Thanks so much.
Also, not to
Look
be
at me doing this.
not to be vapid, but come on with the shoes
I know.
and the
It
this
works.
and the manicure.
It works.
Everything works.
Everything's
Thank
out.
you.
Get rid
You
of
guys
that
are
lower
lovely.
thing.
She's brilliant, but she's also very stylish.
I love when it's the full package.
That's right.
Okay. You can grab your copy of Stephanie's book, Doodles from the Boogie Down, on Amazon right now.
Yeah.